welcome to episode 5 of Jane the Creative Pixie podcast. Welcome. This is a podcast where I share my creative makes that I would knit or crochet or sew. A little bit about me is that I'm married with 2 daughters. I work full time, so the only time I really get to craft is during the evenings and at weekends. But I thought I would keep a little tally of my crafty projects on my blog, which is thecreativepixie.co.uk. You can also find me on Facebook and Twitter, and I'm mostly on Instagram. So it's been a wee while. I apologise. Basically it's hard finding the time to sit down and video a podcast, because I like to make sure that everyone's out of the house and that it's nice and quiet. But I'm just going to plough straight in there with my works in progress. So I am currently working on the Campside Cardigan by Alicia Plummer. This is I think it's a paid for pattern on Ravelry, and basically I wanted a kind of a lightweight kind of knit project that could be worn, say, in the spring or the autumn. And after I knit up my worsted boxy jumper last autumn, I wanted to challenge myself to knit something a bit more complicated, so I've gone for a cardigan, and which also features lace work. But it's very simple lace work. So this pattern, I decided to, the pattern on Ravelry called for a wool silk mix, and it was quite a lot of wool, so I went for a commercial brand over an indie dyer brand, basically because of the cost it would cost me to make. So I went for a Rowan silk merino in double knit in a beautiful green colour. I actually polled quite a few people because I couldn't decide what colour yarn to go for. So a mustardy yellow was up there, but not too many people liked that, so maybe I can save that for a future project. But anyway, this is the green that I went for, and I think I ended up having to buy 9 50-gram balls to knit this cardigan. So here is my progress so far. It's knit top down, and I've come past the armholes, I've joined it up, and I'm on my first lace pattern chart there. You can see I've put in a lifeline because this is actually my first project knitting from a chart, so I really wasn't sure how well I was going to do it, whether I was going to have to like rip it back a couple of times, and I actually because this was my first time knitting from a chart, I really was quite nervous about how to do it. I looked up YouTube tutorials, other blogs to see if they could give me information, and I ended up actually referring to a book that I already have, and I'll show you that later. So anyway, reading this book, something just clicked inside my head, and I could do it. So I've done 2 chart repeats. I think I'm on my 3rd chart repeat for this section here, and I think there's 3 or 4 different chart sections for the lace area. So it's gorgeous and soft, and it's knitting up quite quickly when I get the chance to knit on it. And hopefully I will get this done before the end of the month, but I'll tell you about that later. I also another work in progress. I haven't started it yet because I want to ask your advice. I want to cast on a pair of socks, and I bought this gorgeous yarn from Lay Family Yarn on Etsy, and this is the Buttercup 75/25 merino nylon, and it's a gorgeous yellow, and there's greens, and there's purples, and it's gorgeous. I've seen this knit up in quite a few patterns, sock designs on Instagram, so that's what made me buy it. But the nicest socks have alternating heels, toes and cuffs, and I would like you to help me to decide what colour heel, toe and cuff to put into it. Now I have these minis from Green Elephant Yarns. I bought these last year at the Yarn Festival at Whitehead, and there was a yellow. I did use the yellow in another pair of socks, but anyway, what colour do you think would look good as the contrast to this yellow? Now I've seen it done with the blue, and it does look lovely with the blue, but other people have suggested the green, and it looks good with the green. So if anybody feels like they want to suggest a colour, please do in the comments below. There's lovely purple. So again, I haven't decided on the actual sock pattern, whether it will be a plain vanilla sock or if it will have a bit of an actual textured pattern to it or not. But I think it would look good even if it was just a plain vanilla with the contrast. I think the yarn can sing for itself, really. It's so beautiful. It really is. So that was a recent purchase from Lay Family Yarns. While we're on the subject of socks, I would like to wish a happy 3rd sockiversary to the Woollinn Mum Sock Along. So the Woollinn Mum Sock Along was started back in 2015 by Christine of the Woollinn Mum blog, and basically it was her aim to get people knitting socks. And this community on the Facebook group has grown to thousands and thousands of people, and it's a really good community where, you know, if you have any sock problems, you can chat to someone, you can ask questions and someone will reply to you, and you know, be it with pattern issues. You know, it's not just about knitting a plain vanilla sock. There's another group, the Knit and Natter group, where you can talk about other knitting related things on Facebook. But let me just get the book. So this is the book that I got a couple of years ago. I got this on Amazon. Christine Perry got her own book published, and this book is really invaluable for anyone who wants to learn how to knit socks. It's real. There's so many pictures, step by step. You can see I've scribbled in it already. Step by step, and it takes you through the different techniques of knitting socks, be it with double pointed needles, the magic loop method, or mini circular needles. So I would say if anyone wants to learn how to knit socks, please go to the Woollinn Mum blog, and there'll be all this information there. I would have to say I really enjoy knitting socks. They're the ultimate portable knitting project, and you know, you can just take them anywhere in your little project bag. You can, if you're just doing plain vanilla sock, you don't even have to have the pattern with you. You can just knit it up. It's a really good thing to knit your own pair of socks as well. It gives you the satisfaction, you know, of knowing that you knit your own socks. Lots of people are actually quite impressed when you tell them, "Oh, I knit those socks," or because, well, I suppose at the start, whenever, you know, it came to learning how to knit socks, it was quite intimidating to, you know, turn the heel and to pick up stitches for the gusset and the Kitchener stitch for the toe. And once you know how to do these things, you know, it really is quite an achievement. So yes, happy 3rd birthday, Woollinn Mum Sock Along. I wish you many, many more. So while we're on the topic of books, books to help knitting, I got the Alterknit Stitch Dictionary for Christmas from my husband, and I want to progress in my knitting. So as far as knitting goals went, or are still continuing, I wanted to be able to knit socks. I wanted to be able to do afterthought heels, true afterthought heels, to do lace knitting, and another goal of mine is to knit colourwork. So I saw this book online and thought it looked amazing. So these are all, there's over 200 original designs in here by Andrea Rangel. I hope I've pronounced that properly. And there's just loads and loads and loads of different original designs in here. This is a superb book, and I really hope that I can get started on colourwork. And yeah, I've got my eye on a few designs that are in here. There's just some designs that you would never imagine seeing in knitting. I'm talking about zombies. I'm talking about skulls. There's even, let me see, hippos, octopus. There are loads and loads and loads of different designs in there, so I would really recommend it. Now this book I referred to earlier on in the podcast. This book helped me learn how to read knitting charts. There's a page inside, I'll not show you it, there's a page inside that tells you how to read knitting charts, and when I read that page for the Campside Cardigan, something just clicked in my head, and I was then able to follow the chart and with a bit more confidence than perhaps I would have had beforehand. So yes, and you know, as you can see behind me there are some more of my crafting, knitting, stitching, crochet books. So this will be going up there, and maybe I should make this maybe a regular thing to recommend books to you. If anyone has any knitting or crochet or sewing books to recommend, please do in the comments below. Now I want to talk to you about an event that's taking part at the end of May. From the 25th to the 27th of May, there is going to be a yarn festival called Woollinn in Dublin, and I will be taking part in that. I am one of the press pool. I am one of a group of bloggers and podcasters that will be going down and kind of doing coverage of the event. This is the first time that I've been asked to do something like this, so it's really quite exciting. For those who don't know, I should say, you can look up information online at woolinn.com, and that will tell you everything about this event. But basically, it's going to be held at the Alicia complex, which is near Dublin Airport, and it's going to be a huge marketplace. And there's also going to be designers and instructors coming in, and there's going to be classes, and I think it's going to be a big thing. I think there are, you know, many vendors are going to be there. I'm particularly looking forward to catching up with Baron Sheep's Clothing again, Babel's Yarns is going to be there, Truly Hooked, Woollinn, Green Elephant Yarns again, Fine Fish Yarns, Emerald Fibres, Dye Candy. The list goes on and on and on. There are loads and loads of really well-known vendors there, and also some that are new to me. I'm really looking forward to seeing what everyone is going to be displaying there. There's going to be yarn, there's going to be like project bags, there's going to be, I'm sure there's going to be pins, there's going to be stitch markers, there's going to be loads and loads of things on offer from to buy from these vendors. And also it's going to be really good meeting these people in real life, because I follow a lot of them on Instagram, and oh gosh, I hope I don't embarrass myself meeting these people for the first time. You know the way when you see someone online and then you think you know them, but then you meet them in real life, and then you realise you know them, they don't know you. So anyway, so yes, Woollinn in Dublin, 25th to the 27th of May. Please come along. Let me know if you're coming along. Please say hello if you see me. I will be there. I will be taking pictures. I hope to do a few little podcasts, a few little vlogs, I should say. I might share some videos on Insta stories, and yeah, should be a really good day. I think advance ticket sales have closed now, but you will still be able to buy tickets there on the day if you wish. So yes, I'm not quite sure where I shall be on the day. I think there is going to be like a kind of like knit and natter area for people to go to, so I might be there part of the day when I'm not going round and looking at all the lovely yarny goodness that's available. So I think that's it for today. This was always going to be a short podcast because it's been a while. As I said earlier, it's been a while since I've shared a video, so I'm just breaking myself in gently. I'm going to try and up my game on my blog, try and blog a bit more often and share more posts on Instagram, because that's how we roll. So I think that's it for this week. Any comments, leave them below. I'm going to leave, I'll leave links in the show notes down below about Woollinn, the names of the books, the Winwick Mum Sock Along, and any other jazz like that. Thank you very much for listening or watching, and thanks for joining me.